Brokers Ascendancy gives Bant Modified a little extra push. Let's see how it goes. What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another gameplay video. I hope you guys are doing really well. I hope your week is going well. I know it is the middle of the week. Hopefully nothing too crazy is going on. You're enjoying the week. The work week's going well, whatever it might be. But I'm trying to pre-record and get ahead a little bit because I've been a little slack, I'll be honest. And I'm really excited because today we've got a Bant modified list. Now this one is created by our good friend Mod of the Discord, Spinoraptor, better known as Jeremy. Fantastic individual, does some amazing deck builds, and is very kind in sharing a lot of those decks with us. So we've actually got a few that we need to try out that he has been sending, and so I'm excited to jump into this because I feel like his last modified list was, I think, one of the best decks that we played. So I'm kind of intrigued to see how this one goes. But this is Bant modified, so obviously we're dealing a lot with tokens, with things that hopefully get bigger as the game goes on. So what I mean by that is we do have Hopeful Initiate, which is hopefully going to continuously get 1/1 counters. This also gives us the option of destroying artifacts and enchantments, which is obviously very good right now. We've got the Luminarch Aspirant going to be throwing some counters around, as well as the Gala Greeters going to be able to pump itself up with the 1/1 counters. We have the Intrepid Adversary. This hopefully, obviously just comes in and you can modify it immediately, but hopefully bolsters up the board as well. Reckoner Bankbuster, kind of interesting because it's immediately modified in a weird way, and so if you can get some damage in with it, this actually is already modified with the charge counters on it, which is really cool. We do have Brokers Ascendancy as a 2-of here, so at the beginning of the end step, throw a 1/1 counter on each creature you control and a loyalty counter on every planeswalker you control, which is obviously very good, in particular with Scute Swarm, which obviously is meant to go as wide as possible. This works really well with Kodama of the West Tree, which basically says all modified creatures have trample. Whenever they deal combat damage to a player, search your library for a basic land card, throw it onto the battlefield tapped. We have a handful of basic lands in here, 11 if I am counting correctly, and so we're able to pull those out as we go along. Felidar Retreat is going to take advantage of that landfall as well and give us a lot of extra counters or 2/2 creatures, depending on what we choose. The Wandering Emperor going to throw some counters around, but also is a little bit of creature removal and creature creation all in one. The Flash is obviously quite good as well. One of the new cards, Falco, Spara, Pactweaver. 4-mana 3/3 flying trample. When it enters the battlefield, it comes in with a shield counter on it. So A, it's modified. B, difficult to remove. You can look at the top card of your library at any time, and then you can cast the top card of your library, by removing a counter from a creature you control, in addition to paying the other costs. So what we're setting up here is an engine to be able to play off of the top of our deck by thinning out the deck with Kodama of the West Tree. So we've got less lands, but more lands to play stuff. Ideally removing some counters from stuff with the Broker's Ascendancy, hopefully being able to throw a bunch on and then take them off as needed to then just continuously play off the top for a good bit. Elspeth Resplendent, obviously very good at throwing counters around and getting some of these free things with that -3, which is really good. And then sitting at the top, we do have a 1-of Vorinclex, Emeria's Call, and Seagate Restoration. This is a sick list. I am very excited to try this one out. I've only tested one game. Didn't go in my favor, but we had some really bad draws, so I'm hoping we get a little bit lucky with this one. I'm really stoked for this, and again, I want to thank Spinoraptor for creating this list because this is a fun one. So let's jump right in, guys. Let's see how it goes. All right, guys, and here we are for game number 1. Now, this is a bit of a sketchy one just based on the lands, but we do have the Gala Greeters, which can throw out some tokens for us, so I'm going to give this a shot and see what happens. Not happy to see that from the opponent. It does mean that we are up against a bit of an aggro-y deck, if I had to guess, so we're going to have to make this a quick one if we can. That's very good from the opponent. They're able to throw these counters around however they so choose. We're going to get in for some damage right away. Let's go ahead and Gala Greeters here. Again, we kind of have to do this because we don't have any other lands. So unfortunately, we're a little bit forced on our hand here. This is the Naya version. Elite Spellbinder coming down. Not loving this start, I'll be honest. A little stuck on lands here, sadly. So let's see what we can do. At the very least, this does mean they aren't removing the Gala Greeters this turn, which is very relevant. And it might be worth it to gain a couple life here, but we'll see. Be great to draw a land. They are heavily debating on what to take here. I don't know what they take. It looks like Elspeth. Kind of an interesting choice. I don't know that I would have made that choice just because we're so far away from casting it anyway. But that's fine. Unfortunately, just gonna have to let this go. Oh, here we are. All right, well, this is what we were not hoping for. So, I mean, we just have to go with the Luminarch Aspirant. Let's create that treasure token. Let's go ahead and throw a counter on the Gala Greeters here. We do kind of want to get this one going as quickly as we can here, but we're in a bad position right now. There's no doubt about that. We do have another Luminarch Aspirant that can come down. Wow, okay. So this is going to end up being a lot of damage. Yeah. So what do? We can take out the Aspirant, which may just be a necessity play. 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. I mean, there's not a lot else we can do, and yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and concede there, guys. We had no hope. That was a super quick game, but just unfortunately didn't draw lands. Let's move on to game 2. What's up, guys? Before we jump into the next game, I just want to remind you, if you would like to pick up this month's Patreon rewards, feel free to do so at patreon.com/itresolves. All right, guys, here we are for game number 2. We do have a couple extra lands this time, which is definitely helpful. The double Reckoner Bankbuster doesn't feel great, but that's okay. We'll see what we can do here. We do have the double white for the Emperor, which is pretty relevant. Obviously, that's just a really nice piece of interaction that we can throw down here. So it looks like the opponent's on a Gala Greeters too. That's interesting. Not unhappy to see that land, honestly. That's pretty good. So they're on the Jund, or the, what is it, the Monstrous version of the deck, or no, Riveteer, excuse me, it's Riveteer. So they probably have a lot more removal packed into their deck. A little worried about that, but that's okay. You're gonna throw out their treasure tokens, makes sense. All right, unfortunately, this isn't a creature. So this doesn't even trigger this, but I mean, I do think this is probably the correct play. I'd like to be able to pump this up if we can, so we'll see how next turn goes. Things don't seem to line up super well, at least so far. All right, Titan is here. Very good card for sure. Thankfully this can't attack yet, otherwise they could just sack the Shambling Gas to kill our Gala Greeters, which we don't want them to do. With that in mind, I think what we're going to end up doing is just going to go ahead and I'm going to throw a counter on the Gala Greeters, and then we'll create this. This is solely just to kind of make it a little bit tricky for them. Obviously, they can just attack for 11, which is massive. But we actually have the Wandering Emperor that can kind of deal with this at some point, so I'm not that worried about it. We're really just trying to get out of range of the Shambling Gas at this point. That's kind of the biggest thing. Cool. Wow, great call. Did not even think about this. That's very good. An 11 Obnixilis. Well done, opponent. That's amazing. One thing worth noting, though, they don't have a lot of stuff on the board. They've got a hand full of stuff, but kind of intrigued to see how this one goes. Wow, what a play. That was really good. Very, very good. Okay, sick. Can't be upset about that. That's just freaking cool. All right. Let's go ahead. Curious to see what the actual correct play is going to end up being here, but they do have 1 mana available. I'm curious to see. Looks like they're just going to discard a couple lands. All right, so the most obvious play seems like it's Elspeth Resplendent. We can throw a flying counter on the adversary, which will at least take out the larger Obnixilis, which does seem pretty relevant. Yeah, I think we'll do that. The flying is very good. So let's go ahead and throw the flyer there. I'm gonna crew 3 here. So what we're doing is basically saying like, hey, you really are gonna have to make a big play to be able to finish these things off. So like they're probably just gonna end up hitting for 1 or blocking the Reckoner Bankbuster for 1, and that's it. Which is fine, but at the very least we get this one off the field and we gain some life, which is pretty relevant. They get a treasure token. I'm a little worried they might have like a crackle with fire or whatever that is, which is just like a big finisher for the deck, so that could be a little scary. I actually think it's just the Bankbuster. Kind of want to keep the land just in case. They do have to be worried about Elspeth Resplendent, I would imagine. Okay. Are they gonna do the same trick twice? I mean, that's cool, but they've already got the values, so like at this point I feel like that's a much less or a much lower value play at this point. Okay, that's very scary. That's like grounds for we could die this turn, but it looks like that isn't gonna happen. They're already in the attack step, so it looks like they're not gonna play anything else yet, which is fine. Okay. Sure. So what we can do is flash out and kill this at some point, which may end up being the case, but we will see. Let's do this. I think we'll just give it flying. We'll do this. Kind of in the camp of we just need to kill them as quickly as we can, you know what I mean? I think what I'm gonna do is end up just exiling the Devilish Vandal, or Valet, excuse me. Here's the thing, that Valet is, in my opinion, scarier than the Titan. If they've got a spell to save it or like a Deadly Dispute, that's pretty good, but yeah. That's fine. All right. Excellent. What we could have done is crewed up here, but I think this is probably just fine. We can still do it, actually. So let's crew this. No. Because we're not going to end up attacking there anyway. All right. I'm going to deal 5 here and 5 here, and just save the rest, I think. We do kind of want to get Omnixilis gone. Granted, they probably have another one, but we are at 30 life, so like the Titan's not that scary anymore. I mean, it is scary. It's a big old thing, so there is a worry, but I don't think it's as big of a concern as it normally would be. We're holding our own. So at the very least, I'm feeling a lot better about this game than we were in the last. The last one was very rough, but we really got unlucky. We had 2 lands the entire game and didn't last very long, so that's okay. But I think killing the Valet is definitely the right call. I can't let that sit on the field. They just have too many options to get that out. Fight rigging's great when you've got a Titan on the field. Yeah. All right. I mean, I think they have to continue worrying about the Planeswalkers. Like, Elspeth Resplendent, it's a pretty scary card, in my opinion. At this point, though, I think they're just needing removal more than anything else. So they're trying to make it so this can kill the Aspirant, but we can actually just block with the Bankbuster. So that's not really that big of a deal. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna kill the Greeters, though. I mean, the Greeters is way scarier than the little devil tokens, so this seems like a not great play. Oh, okay, sure. Nice. So they do get to kill one of the planeswalkers here, and that's pretty important. But they also don't. They didn't play the card off of this, did they? They're Shakedown Heavy. Very cool card. We talked about that card at one point, actually. I mean, flying, I suppose. They just have some big stuff, man. Ha! Good lord. All right, here we go again. What a crazy deck this has been. This is absolutely fascinating. I'll take the action. They're gonna draw the cards anyway. It doesn't really matter. They can draw as much as they want. So at this point, I really don't think it's gonna matter at all. And now they can gain life back since they've got the devil token. That's pretty important. Okay. What do we want? Honestly, Brokers Ascendancy wouldn't be terrible, but they're gonna be able to attack in here at some point. Bankbuster is a thing. It's not a great thing. Interesting. I mean, I guess just lifelink. So this can, what? It's not even gonna take this out, sadly. It's really depressing. But we at least gain a little bit of life back. I don't know. We're not doing so great. They, I think, are gonna be able to get us here. Wow, they went for it. It's fascinating. We could have attacked this one just to get the ultimate down, but I really don't think that's that big of a deal. Man, fascinating. Fascinating, fascinating. A land would be a pretty awesome draw, because then we can go into Scute Swarm and start really going crazy. All right, that's terrifying. We could die any second now. If you don't know how good the Valet is, guys, it's ridiculous. I got it up to 8,000 power in one game. And I know that's, like, not that excessive. It was with Scute Swarm. I'm going to decline. There's really not a reason. I mean, again, we've got a high life total, so at this point, it doesn't really matter. All right, they're going to attack with everything at us. I will take the action and let them draw. That's fine. Surprised they didn't just attack Elspeth, but that's cool. Nice. All right. Good game. There it is. So this is the scary part. Well done, opponent. That deck was amazing. That was really, really fun. I enjoyed that a lot. Let's do it. Let's see if we can get a win, guys. I really want to. I think this deck can do it. All right, guys. Here we are for our third game. Hopefully a better game than the last ones, but we'll see. This is an interesting hand. Unfortunately, this is a tapped land, but we do have a turn 2 Aspirant into a turn 3 Kodama, which isn't bad at all, and so I will happily take that. We'll see what we're up against. Man, that last deck, that was a killer one. I really enjoyed that. Really want to play that deck. That was amazing. All right, they've got a tapped land as well. Let's go ahead and play the blue source just in case. We'll Luminarch Aspirant, get the counter on there. With the Kodama, I feel fairly optimistic that we can do something this game. That's fine. That's a little less fine, but okay. So Death Touch is annoying, but not the end of the world. I'm gonna go for the attack here. If they double block, fine. But this puts us in Felidar Retreat range next turn, and I think that's the important thing. So if they want to double block, go for it. If they don't, we still get the damage in, and yeah. We've got another Aspirant anyway, so I'm not that worried about it. I'm gonna get the second white source since we do have so much white in our hand. I feel like that's probably important. And truthfully, a land at this point is probably gonna be our best draw. Just to get the Felidar Retreat going. Sure. Circle of Confinement, definitely frustrating. because they do kill the Kodama with that. We do have a way to deal with these kinds of enchantments, so there is an out, but we're not there yet. That's less good. I think we go this route. Start building back up a little bit here, and then at least providing a little bit of card draw potentially down the road. But man, I feel bad, Spinoraptor. We have not done well with your deck, and this one seems to be kind of slowly slipping away as well, which doesn't feel too good. But can't help it. It is what it is. I don't think we've played absolutely terribly. I feel like we played reasonably well. Maybe we could have played better. Maybe I'm missing something obvious, but I feel like we're not that far out of range here. All right, let's do this. Let's do this. I'm gonna put the cat beast on the field here, I think, actually. That might have been dumb, but that's fine. I don't know. I wish that was a white source so we could have also played a Hopeful Initiate, but I mean, kind of needed to get something down there. Wow. Multiple Weavers. Got counters everywhere. I mean, we're just dead. I mean, what do we do? I don't know what we could have done differently here. Sadly. Oh my gosh. Are we just this bad, or like, do these decks just like annihilate this one? Spinoraptor, let me know. Let me know what you think is going on, because you're a really good deck builder. There is no doubt in my mind that we should be able to win some games here, but we are just not. They get to copy the ability. So we're gonna throw these. Yep. That's so good. So good. I'm just gonna block like this. I think we want the Reckoner Bankbuster just to draw. But they gain so much life there. And we just have nothing. Absolute nothing. I mean, it's fine, but it's not good. Like, we're still dead. Yeah. We're still super dead. Dang, man. They just annihilated us. That's the 3 straight losses. That feels so bad. All right, well, hey, it is what it is. Let's talk about this. All right, Spinoraptor, we gave it a fair shot, but we just got annihilated. Some of these decks right now just seem wicked, wicked fast in comparison to this one, and unfortunately, I think that's the problem, is that there are just some really good, really well tooled out decks right now, and you've got cards on the field like Obnixilis that can do broken things, and I think we saw that very, very well demonstrated in that Riveteers build where, I mean, they were playing an Obnixilis and drawing 7 immediately, which is just insane to me. But you know what? It is what it is. I still like the look of the deck, but I just feel like it didn't hit well in the meta right now. We did get some unlucky draws for sure. So keeping that in mind. But in general, I feel like this either needs to be built slightly differently, a little bit more focused on the Brokers Ascendancy maybe would be interesting, or there just needs to be a different way to do it, or build the whole deck, and you know, that's okay. Regardless, I really do appreciate it, Spinoraptor. Again, phenomenal deck builder as always. I just hate that we didn't give you a good showing this time. But guys, go thank Spinoraptor in Discord. I really do appreciate him as a mod and a deck builder. He does a lot for us, so huge thank you. But everybody watching, thank you guys as well. I really do appreciate it. Hopefully we'll get some wins with the next deck that we play. Again, Spinoraptor sent some other ones over, so we're going to try some different ones as we go through. But thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a fantastic day. I'll see you again very soon.